back. I know it's been a while since I done videos regularly, but I've been busy. I hope to start new job soon, and there's a bunch of other things going on right now. So, but now I'm back, and this time we're gonna see and hear from my one of my favorite YouTubers, sarcasm, Kyle Kulinski. He's gonna talk about the invasion of not invasion. Sorry, he calls it invasion. The whole Russia and Ukraine situation. I'm not gonna play this whole video, but what I will do is talk about the beginning, which is this part here, and the end, which he will propose in his ideas about how to end the crisis. And the Bush administration officials and neocons will be proud of him. And they would love his plan. But let's just start off with the video first in the beginning.
All right, y'all. It has officially happened. Vladimir Putin has invaded Ukraine.
He didn't invade Ukraine. He was invited. His troops were invited to Donetsk and Luhansk. Sorry if I butchered that, which I probably did.
So he gave about an hour-long speech and talked about what he's doing, why he's doing what he's doing. Here's a little bit of a breakdown. BNO News says, Putin orders troops into Ukraine. Putin recognizes Donetsk and Luhansk as independent. Orders peacekeeping mission in those areas. Very loaded terminology there. U.S. European leaders call for sanctions. Putin suggests Ukraine is not a legitimate state. Calls Ukraine a...
That's actually not true. What he suggested was that the U.S. not even suggested. He just straight up said it that Ukraine was a I just lost track of my thoughts. Give me a second. That Ukraine was a U.S. colony. Sorry about that. And that's what he said. He didn't suggest that Ukraine was not a legitimate state. I mean, I listened to most of his speech, almost all of it, and that's not what he suggested. That was kind of misleading. But okay.
A U.S. colony with a puppet regime. So let me tell you what the plan of action here was. What he's doing is saying, oh, I'm accepting their claim of independence. I'm officially accepting their claim of independence. Now, the reason why he would do that is then he could turn around and say, since they're independent countries now, well, I just signed a mutual military defense agreement with them so that he gets to go into Ukraine and now say, I'm not going into Ukraine. I'm going into these two independent states that want me here for defensive purposes. So that's the trick that he's using. It's
not a trick. That's what happened. I don't know why you're claiming Kyle's claiming it's a trick. That's because the U.S. does this. NATO does this. They pretend that is a keep me sorry. They claim that the NATO claims that the U.S. NATO claims the U.S. All right, give me a second. I need to gather my thoughts. NATO pretends that their forces are peacekeepers, and they're trying, and that's why they're going in, not because they want to start the war, which is what they claim, which is why Kyle thinks this is a trick, but it's not really, because Putin was actually invited, just like he was in Syria. So,
sort of like, exploiting a loophole in international law to claim that he's not violating international law when indeed he is violating international law, because it's not as simple as, these regions saying we henceforth declare that we're independent. Now, another prediction I'm going to make here is what will happen in the long run is at some point in the future, they will hold a quote-unquote vote, and the people of the independent republics or whatever they're called,
quote-unquote vote. That's what happened in Crimea. And that's nothing wrong with that. They voted and they want to be a part of the Russian Federation. I'm not sure these other two territories will do the same thing or not. But yeah, that's what happened, and that's not a trick. That's not nefarious. I don't think it is.
All of Donetsk and Luhansk will turn around and say, we voted with 80 or 90% to join Russia, and now we're part of Russia. So really, there are multiple steps here to get to the end result, which is what Putin wanted in the first place, which is basically annexing these ethnically Russian areas of Ukraine. That's what's going on here. Now, the Polish prime minister has demanded immediate sanctions against Russia, and they called for an urgent meeting of the European Council. We also have the Biden administration is going to impose sanctions over Putin's recognition of these breakaway Ukraine regions. Now, as of this moment, as I'm talking to you right now, and by the way, this will change very quickly. This will change within the course of hours, if not, minimum a day or two. Right now, the only sanctions they have against these regions are that, it's illegal to basically do business with those regions. Okay,
but nobody's doing business with those regions anyway, so it's like a grandstanding, sanctions.
Well, it's not like Americans were doing a lot of business in those particular regions in the first place. They weren't.
I just said that, but I forgot that he actually said that in this part. But
so this is more symbolic, but I'm sure they're going to have a meeting, whether it's NATO, the UN, Biden with a whole bunch of world leaders, and they're going to determine a path forward as to how to try to deter Russia from further aggression here. So BNO News says Ukrainian President Zelensky is going to address the nation. Again, so he hasn't yet as of the recording of this, but he probably by the time you watch this, he will actually speak. Now, this guy here is named Clint Ehrlich, and he correctly...
All right. I don't really care about the rest of this video. I mean, it's a lot of stuff. So let's get to the end. I want to get to Kyle's plans and rip it apart. All right. So let me get to the right timestamp. All right, here we go.
It's not happening anymore. I would tell Nord Stream 2 pipeline is...
All right. This is Kyle's plan. Before he explains it, I'm going to talk about it. He wants to end the Nord Stream pipeline, which is the pipeline from Russia to Germany, which gets oil from Russia to Germany. So, yeah, he wants to end the pipeline, which is like, who the hell are we to end and to tell Russia and Germany what to do with their commerce? But we're going to do it, because the update to that is Germany ended any business with Russia and axed the pipeline anyway. So, that's what they did. That's today. So, and the second part, now let me get back to the pipeline, sorry. That'll hurt the Russian employees and the Germans that need that oil to heat up their homes for the winter. So who knows what's going to happen with that. The second part, sanction oligarchs. Okay, and they get around those sanctions, right? That's kind of pointless. Arm Ukraine. This is the big one. This is like arming the Mujahideen in Afghanistan against the Soviets. That's what this is. And how did that work out for us? And now the final one, meet with world leaders to make contingency plans. Okay. Well, that sounds like a plan that the Bush administration in 2003 would approve. That's exactly what this is. And here's my plan. I keep it very simple. I'll meet with Putin and with all the NATO and with Ukraine and this UN Security Council, all those states together in one big summit. Do it at Camp David. Do it at all right, if Putin doesn't want to come to the US, then we'll do it at a neutral site. Like, I don't know, like France, Paris, And I would say, look, Ukraine is never joining NATO. They won't ever join NATO. We'll all sign a big treaty, and that'll never happen. And let's end this conflict. That's probably the simplest solution to this problem. So that's what I would do. And you don't have to do any sanctions. You don't have to arm Ukraine, which, by the way, helps the gun manufacturers, which Kyle hates so much. Now he doesn't hate them. Now they'll make a shit ton of money off this. If this happens, if Kyle Solutions happens. And I mean, this is incredibly embarrassing for Kyle, and the Bush administration would love this plan, and they would approve it in a second. So Kyle is on the side of neocons and the Republican Party. Congratulations. Well, I'll amend this video here. I'll link this whole video in the description box below, and so you guys can watch the whole thing if interested. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Back to my OG format here. Hopefully everything works well. And I'll see you guys soon. I'll be back. Peace.